this video we're going to look at how to publish your SVG family tree for free. There are quite a few web hosts that you might pick, such as Wix or WordPress. The problem that they all have is that they expect you to create your web pages using their own tools. They don't expect you to have pages already created by specialist software such as SVG Family Tree Generator. However, there's one case that always works, and I'm going to recommend that by way of creating an instructional video, to help you and show you how easy it is. That web host is called neocities.org, and it's completely free unless you want to have bells and whistles on your website. It's very functional. It takes a matter of minutes to create and to add your images and your HTML. So let's imagine that I'm in the same position as many users. I've got an example tree down here which I will load up, and I can go into the designer, and I'm hoping to have images on these small number of persons. What you want is some URL, something that begins HTTP or HTTPS that you can give to your friends and family, and that would generate a proper family tree version of that same view that you see in the designer there. So what do we do? Let's just quit out of that because I don't need this at the moment. Right, the first thing to do is to go to the neocities.org site, and you'll see a page there to create your website. I'm going to call mine SVG example. You don't need any tags at this point, and you need to give it an email so they can communicate with you and create a password, and also tick this little box at the bottom, and then you can just create your site. Now I'm going to put in a password and email while the recording's off so that you can't all use my account, so I'll disappear for a few seconds. Right, so now I'm to the next stage, and it's given me an option of the free one. I just type continue or upgrade for a small amount per month. You don't need that unless you want to start creating your own URL, your own private one, rather than use a neocities.org. But I'll talk about that right at the end. So let's just type continue. Right, now NeoCities has sent me an email with a link to confirm my email address, or I can type in a code. I'm going to elect to activate the link rather than type the code because I don't want that on the recording. So now I'm just going to hit the confirm email because it's been confirmed separately. Okay, the confirming it via the link didn't work straight away, so I've typed in the code whilst the recording's off. Okay, this is the next page that you will go to when it successfully confirms your email address. And I want to go to the dashboard, and there is my list of files. There are some basic ones that just support any old website. You can ignore those for now. And I want to upload my image files. So let's hit upload. Now I've got a directory on desktop. And I'm going to upload all my image files. So I'm going to sort them by type. Down, and all of these JPEG files. And a few PNG ones, although I don't need those. Okay, I've uploaded my image files. That might actually take a few minutes if your image files are large. So what I can do now is go back to my directory. I've already got this file loaded up into the designer. the tools, I want to manage my places, and I'm using a place key to access them, and I've already put in the that's wrong. I've already put in the URL that references my new website, and for the local directory, that's where the tree designer will access them. That's just Windows shorthand for the current directory. You can actually right click on there and add a local directory, which will put in a full directory name, but we don't need that here. Okay, so I'm going to confirm that. Now I can test this out, because if I edit one of the persons, that's showing me the local version, and you can see if I hover over it, let's do that again, it begins // which is again the Windows shorthand. If I uncheck this box, now it's going to go and fetch the remote version, and this is why we use place keys, because it's quite slow to do that outside the browser. And if I hover over it, magically there's my new website with beginning HTTPS, and it's got the image file name on the end. So what we've done now is we've created remote versions of all my images that can be referenced by the family tree. Now let's quit out of that, close the tree designer, and I want to save my changes. Now if I process it, you can see from the messages in the information window that it's actually created a HTML file, and I could test that locally just to make sure it works. Yep, and it's fetching these images from the new website, but what I actually want to do is to put my HTML on that website. So let's go back to the NeoCities dashboard, and I want to upload one more file. And there it is, treeexample.html. And surprisingly, that should be it. If I go to... Now I typed this in beforehand just to make sure it wasn't there. It's got my new website and the tree example which I've just published. So if I refresh that, hey, magic. So that's published a family tree and the images, and in this version I've only configured it to have the expand and zoom, zoom and pan. You could include all the applications, and you could pass that URL there to family members, just send it to them in an email or text message, and they should be able to see the same thing. So that's the end of this video. I hope this is useful, because this is by far the easiest of all the options. And if you do want to put your own URL in there, so in this example I've just typed into the address bar, that's my private URL, and there's a family tree in there to do with the Campbell family. Living on Jersey, and I did this for one of my in-laws, and it's got images on there which I can zoom in to see them and pan around by grabbing the tree. Now this was dumbed down a little bit because I put the details underneath, but people who have used SVG Family Tree Generator will know that there are ways of actually getting biographical notes up when clicking on a person or a family, or even hovering over them. In fact, I have actually got the hover text active on this one. But this was part of a presentation, so that one page is part of several pages. Now you can't generate these pages with SVG Family Tree Generator, but you can do with other tools, even with Word actually. So if I go back to the start, there's quite a bit of text in there, and there's some of the other pages that include photographs of houses and cemeteries. But it was designed to be a presentation, and you could jump into any of these using it as a contents list, or just begin a tour and it will actually go sequentially through the pages. So what I did is put the Campbell family tree in there as one of those pages. So, and that's all on hosted on a NeoCities site. So that's just an example of what you can do once you've got a URL and a website. So now it's the end of the video.